when the world has got you down. And
Alzheimer's sucks. It's an equal opportunity disease that chips away at everything we hold dear. And to date, there's no cure. So until there is, we continue to fight with the most powerful tool in our arsenal, love. This is Love Conquers Alls, a real and really positive podcast that takes a deep dive into everything Alzheimer's, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And now, here are your hosts, Susie Singer-Carter and me, Don Priest.
Hello, everybody. I'm Susie Singer-Carter,
And I'm Don Priest, and welcome to Love Conquers Alls. How are you, Susan?
I'm so good. It's sunny. I have my second COVID shot. I'm feeling great, and I actually got some sleep last night, and I finished.
Wow.
Okay, I'm late to the party here we both are actually with Outlander. Okay, I need to talk about Outlander for 1 second.
Okay, just a moment.
It's because I've been obsessed with this show now because I'm late to the party, and I finished all 5 seasons. Last night, and so it's like I can't tell you, it's like a relief because I don't have to think about it anymore, and yet I miss my television family. Is that weird?
Yes,
this is what COVID's done to me.
And it's if anyone ever gets a chance to watch Outlander with Susan, it's a journey unto itself. Because
here we go.
She's so, I literally I look to my left, and they're in a scene, and she's just sitting up weeping. just she's lost it. And after 5 seasons, I think we watched 5 seasons, and there's 13 shows in each season except for the last one. I think there's 12, an hour each, and I think we watched them all in like 3 or 4 weeks. And all after midnight, like literally, because we don't stop working till like 10 or 11. We eat dinner, and then we try to fit in 2 or sometimes 3 in a night. And so it's really quite an experience. I feel better that we have finished the 5. I guess there's supposedly a 6th one coming up in a year or 2.
I'm sorry that where is your emotional, level? I don't know how you
I'm
turn
there.
It off, but I'm sorry.
No.
But
See, as you weep,
this thing will get you.
As you weep, I sit in the corner quietly, just tearing. I.
All right. Well, anyway, it was a great journey, and now I'm done.
Indeed.
But I do miss Jamie Fraser.
Yeah, I know you do.
I didn't remember how I'm going to get through this. Anyway, let's talk about
Susanach, I call it.
Susanach, yeah. Anyway, that's for all the fans out there of
But today we're on a new journey. We are on a new journey today. Yes.
And what is that? Tell us about
it. We have an amazing guest. All our guests are amazing.
I would say
this
beast.
is just.
This is a beast because I like to consider.
He is. Let me tell you a little bit about him.
And his partner
Absolutely.
too. Don't forget.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about after navigating the skies for 37 years as a commercial pilot, Tony Copeland Parker is now on a new journey, and it's a journey on foot as he runs marathons all over the world in a race against early-onset Alzheimer's, a race that his partner, Catherine, is hopeful to outrun. And together they are searching for a cure, and it's chronicled in his upcoming book, Running All Over the World, Our Race Against Early-Onset Alzheimer's. And we cannot wait to hear about their amazing quest. And so, let us say hello to Tony Copeland Parker. Hello, Tony.
Woo-hoo. Hi, Tony.
Hello. How you all doing? It's so great to see you two.
Thank you. It's wonderful to get to connect with you now. I think we connected on social media like I do. Which has been such a great 21st century invention for us, so that we can meet wonderful people like you.
Well, that's great.
Inspirational. Yep. You're such an inspiration, you and Catherine.
Well, I have a tagline, which is
that?
Inspire till I expire.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. You know what? I don't know if you had a chance to see our film that we did with Valerie Harper. It's based on my mom who has Alzheimer's.
Oh.
But if you haven't, it's called My Mom and the Girl. And Valerie was like that, with just like you. She was diagnosed with cancer 8 years before. before we worked with her, and she was like, I'm not going to and she had 3 months to live, they gave her.
Right.
She goes, fair enough, we all have to end sometime,
Right.
but I'm not going to go to my funeral before it's time.
Right. That
And
is
lo
a
and
true
behold,
statement.
she exited this world doing our film as her last, and it's so inspirational. It really is. She's just gorgeous in it, and she wanted to do it, and she wanted to leave behind the message of that kind of, embracing what you have.
And it's
what
so
she did.
important to do that, because what is the alternative? The
Right.
alternative, when you're facing something that's daunting or bleak, or just just what life gives you, if you make the choice to make every moment the best it can be, as opposed to lamenting about what you may lose.
Right.
It's such a healthy and inspiring
it's
way
beautiful.
to do it.
It's
So
beautiful.
bravo.
Right.
So I want Tony to tell us about this, this journey that he's on, and it's so fascinating to me. Just a little personal aside, I wrote a feature based on a book called Plain Jane, and it's the woman. It all takes place as a woman is running the 26.2 miles. Is that it, Tony?
Right, that is
26.2?
correct. That's correct.
Okay, miles, marathon in New Jersey, actually Asbury Park, which is where my mother was born. So it's all very, very simpatico with me. It has my heart, the story. And I'm talking to somebody who does this literally every day almost of his life. Jeez, you have no idea how many marathons he and his partner, who's also, I wish he was here, because what a woman.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit of your backstory and how you got involved in marathon running and the whole schmeal.
Well, it's really good because it fits along with your love conquers, and the fact that it's the fact that I was just going to run one marathon. I met her; she was a marathon runner, and I said, "Oh man, maybe she could train me to run one marathon." And I said, "Okay, I'll train." And we did the New York City Marathon in the year 2000, and I figured out, okay, that's it. I got my one marathon. I grew up in New York. I got to run through the 5 boroughs. I'm all set. She turns around. She says, okay, we have another one in a month. I'm like, what do you mean another one? She goes, oh, yeah, I plan on running a marathon in all 50 states. If you want to stay with me, that's what the plan is. I'm like, okay. So it was, marathon after marathon. And she now has 83 marathons, a 50-miler, an Ironman, and a number of triathlons, and I'm a slacker. I've only done 68.
Wow, you got to catch up.
Yeah, I got to catch up. And
I'm
not only that,
I'm a little embarrassed for you.
yeah, and not only that, her fastest marathon time is 8 minutes faster than mine. So we have a couple.
So how is that? What is the time? How fast did you do it?
I did mine in 3:57 was my fastest time, and she did hers in 3 hours and 49 minutes.
That's amazing.
And she's also completed a marathon in all 50 states.
Wow.
We just did that recently. Yeah, she was able to
Beautiful.
get it all done. So for us, goal setting is very important. And we got that goal done, even though COVID was, in full swing, and we were finding little towns and cities that would let us come in, and 50 of us would run, around a lake for a couple hours, and
Right.
get the state checked off. And
I have a question then. Do you have to wear masks when you were running the marathon?
Not when we're running. When we're staging to run, we would put a mask on, and as soon as we're finished, the protocol would be to put a mask back on. And if you're going through a water stop or anything like that, you would put a mask on. So
Gotcha. Interesting.
And we've done races, through COVID that as little as 17 people, showed up for it, and then we did one in Carmel, Indiana, and it was 4,000 folks, and that was just a couple of weeks ago. So the next goal was, since we did 50 states as marathons, let's go back around and do all 50 states as half marathons. So we just finished up our 30th state in, Charlottesville, Virginia, and we're off to do 3 half marathons in 5 days. Here next week, we're going to start off in South Dakota, and then we're going to move over to Minnesota, and then we're going to finish up in Missouri. And there's actually a group called mainly marathons, and they'll do a marathon every day. And he'll just pick up and move to another state and do another marathon, pick up and move. We're not ready for that, so we're just going to do a half marathon and 3 of them in 5 days. So
I
we
feel
get 40
very
miles
unaccomplished.
done.
I feel very unaccomplished at this point.
Right.
You know, when I get up I get to the top of the stairs, I celebrate.
Yes.
So
You just
got a
find
ways to go.
it's kind of funny because stairs do wear me out.
Oh, but you know what? That's true because you know what? I started during COVID. I do work out a lot. We have a stationary bike, and I put a desk over it.
Oh,
so
right,
that
right.
I can edit and write on it. So
Yes.
I worked up to like 4 hours a day on that bike. Like I just
Wow.
can't stop. Like, and so, and there is like, we're roommates, by the way, but platonic best friends. And so just to set the stage, and there's 3 stories and a rooftop. So when I first started working out from at home because of COVID for that many hours a day, when I walked up the stairs, I was out of breath.
Right.
So I went online. I thought something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And it turns out like bicyclists and runners, there's something about the muscles in your thighs
Right.
and all of the
Right.
lactic
Oxygen.
acid goes there. Yeah, so when it actually does wind you when you go upstairs.
Yes.
And I was like happy to read that because I was like,
right.
okay, I need to go to the doctor. Something's wrong. I've never
Right.
been winded from stairs. So yes.
I've saved so much time by not running marathons or riding bikes. I still get winded going up the stairs, and I didn't even have to do all that stuff.
You just cut to the chase. I'm getting winded going
Exactly.
upstairs. Yeah, that's great.
Oh my
That's
God!
great.
So all of these challenges that you did and that you've accomplished so far. Let's circle. I'm interested to see how it ties into the Alzheimer's conversation.
Okay. Yes.
And how it, because I'm always interested in the aspect of exercising. I think that
Right.
you can't. I am a big fan of moving your bod.
Well, there's a lot of science behind that also. And one of the things we find connecting it to Alzheimer's is the fact that for Catherine, running is her reserve or her resilience. So a lot of people with Alzheimer's, they have some type of reserve or resilience, something that they can still do through Alzheimer's for longer periods of time as they lose other parts of their abilities. So, people that can sing can still sing, people that were dancing can still dance, things of that nature. For her, it's running. So what I thought was we take something that she loves to do, that she can still do on her own, and we'll apply that to her lifestyle. And then you have the fact of exercise, and the studies that go into exercise, how it reduces inflammation of the brain. If you breathe hard, you get the oxygen level that you need. And what's really, really important is it wears her out. So when it comes time for bed, she gets the sleep that she needs. So you have all those processes that take place when you sleep, getting rid of the tau tangles and beta amyloid during your sleep. It flushes out your brain. So I try to make sure we get our exercise in 3 to 4 days a week. Sometimes when the race season is really going on, we'll get even more, and at least 30 minutes to an hour. Like today, we were going to run. We decided we'd just go for an 8-mile walk. We went for a nice long walk. We'll get up tomorrow. We'll go for a run. And it just helps out. And also it gives her a sense of satisfaction. She says, I did that. I was able to do that. I went out and I did a race, and I got the medal on my around my head, and we always finish together. We stay together, which is also helpful, and we always finish. We have a picture at the finish line of us hand in hand. So that's
Beautiful.
always a joy for
That's
for
wonderful.
both of us.
Beautiful. And how long ago was Catherine diagnosed with?
It was
she has early
7 years
onset?
ago this April. 7
Okay.
years ago this April, right? And the news hit us right at the same time that I had to have open heart surgery for a leaky aortic valve. So it was like, oh my God, from my standpoint, I was thinking, much longer do I have to live? I got a leaky valve. What else do I have going on in my body? Even though I felt good, I was running, great at the time. It was just one of those things where they say, did you know you have a heart murmur? No, I did not know that. You're my doctor that I've been seeing for 20 years. So, and then it got worse and worse, and then they had to go ahead and take the valve out. luckily I had a triathlete as my surgeon, and I had races on the schedule. And I said, "Hey, doc, I got to do this marathon on this date, and I got another one in 3 months." And he goes, "Okay, well then we're going to go ahead and do your operation here." And I was able to finish in the Berlin Marathon in 2014, 3 months after my surgery.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
What a great doctor. What a great doctor.
Yes,
Because,
yes.
other doctors, would probably not want to take that risk to
Right.
encourage you to do that.
Right.
And yet that's so progressive.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
really
it was
progressive.
Great. Yep. And at the same time, we got the diagnosis right around that time of Catherine's Alzheimer's, even though I knew something was up probably about a year prior. And they, some studies say they could be as early as 5 years prior before, the person actually shows any signs. So,
Do you mind telling me how old she was, or
she was 53 at the time. Oh, of course, it's in the book. So I don't mind.
Yeah, I just
yeah. So it was 53 at the time that she was diagnosed, and we just yesterday, I have to tell everybody this. She turned 60 years old yesterday. And we went to the Kentucky Derby. It was on her birthday, and we just had an absolutely wonderful time. Weather was beautiful, and she's at the point now she still knows what's going on and still can function
Enjoys.
rather
She's
well.
enjoying.
So she
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and her 86-year-old mother was with us. So I had my hands full.
I'll bet you did. And her and her mother is she have any memory issue or?
Yeah, at 86 everybody.
Yeah.
does.
My mother is
memory.
80.
Right.
Yeah, my mother is just turned 87. So
Right.
and
You
she's
hear
had
the stories
Alzheimer's.
over and over, and you say, "Oh, really?"
Yep. So, but 53 is extraordinarily young, and
Yes,
if you
yes,
were seeing signs of it, like I did with my mom. My mom was 72 when she was diagnosed, and I was seeing it in her 60s. I was
Right.
noticing it. No one else would agree with me, and I kept
Right.
seeing it. And she
Well-
is, and she was really like, she was not going to let anybody convince her that there was something
Yes.
wrong. It was all you.
Yeah,
You all go. Yeah.
Right. I had to go through that for about a year, and unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, the job that she had at the time, she got a new boss, and the new guy was like, "No, I want things done this way." And for
Gotcha.
people with Alzheimer's, they use all sorts of ways to keep it hidden. They use sticky
Sure.
notes, and they have their habits and the way they always do things. So when he was shaking everything up, it really came to the forefront that she had a problem. But she was working for the government at the time. So I immediately went to him and said, HR, I said, "She's got a problem. Here's the documentation. You can't fire her. You've got to, list her as disabled." So she was able to get a severance and able to get on a
Nice.
disability from the government for that, and then also got Social Security disability. So
And
at
what
that
was,
point,
what was her path? I mean, what was her personal path as far as acceptance, denial, anger? What was the progression of her accepting to the point where she is now?
It was really surprising. She fought really hard, but at the same time, when she knew it was going to affect her career, and I started going to say, "Okay, we need to get documentation. Dear, we need to go to the doctors. We need to go see the neurologist. We need to go do everything. We need to go see a psychiatrist. We need to go through." So not only me, I had other people who were coaxing her in the right direction for her to understand. And then once she said, "Okay, that's what I have," she was fine. It was, just I'm accepting it. But at the same time, you have to understand that what we did made it a lot easier for her because we just transitioned into doing something that we love to do, which was travel and running on a regular basis.
Right.
And so she was getting great endorphins. We're outside the Eiffel Tower. We're climbing the China Wall. We're doing things that people just dream about doing. So at the same time, every
So
night.
she's having a better life than somebody who doesn't
Right,
have,
right,
that disability.
right.
And that's
Yes.
that's such a perfect example of what we're trying to talk about all the time is that, it's just a different, you have, there, you are not disabled in a way. Yes, you are, but you're enabled in another way. So
Right.
so often, if you can look at something like that, like, you can embrace it and make your life even better than it was before, because you're not wasting time and you're doing what you
Right.
want to do, and you're taking those moments and living in the present, which is very, spiritual in
Right.
a non-religious way. It's just it's
Yeah.
a very healthy way to live.
Yeah, I tried in my book to break a couple of stereotypes, and one is the fact that, oh, my loved one has Alzheimer's, I need to keep working, she'll be fine at home by herself, that it does not work. In my opinion, it doesn't work, because the person's home, they might spend hours just walking around trying to find your keys. They
Right.
go from one room to the next room to the next room to the next room, and you come home and you say, "Oh, what did you do today?" "Oh, I don't know. I can't find my keys." That's
Right.
terrible for the brain to be able to go through that. So that's one of the reasons why I looked at it and said, okay, yes, I still have some time left at my job, but it'd be better from a love perspective for us to take this as a team effort. And I went ahead and retired and said, okay, what we have, we're just going to, use what we have and enjoy the time that we have. And it turned out that it ended up, in my opinion, it turned out to be a benefit, because instead of her getting frustrated as to, oh, I can't remember what I had for breakfast, I could say, well, do you look at this picture where we were today? We were in Patagonia. We were in, Bhutan or Madagascar or some other places that, and she could see and feel and smell all these things, all these senses that was able to keep her going. So,
Right, because those are we were talking to another guest last week, Judy Cornish, who's all about a habilitative kind of approach where you're really just that you may lose a memory skill, but that doesn't
Right.
mean other skills aren't still there, which are your
Right.
senses and your
Right.
your intuitive nature as a
Right.
human being, and all those need to be fed and can be fed and should be fed and are enjoyable, and it's just we put a lot of value from her perspective on actual memory, where we can really get around that and still have an enjoyable life.
Right,
Especially with someone like you who's been there, and
Right.
you're pretty freaking and extraordinary. Yeah,
So-
I mean, everyone needs a part. Everyone needs a Tony.
yeah. So you have the other stereotype, which is, she can't travel. We can't go anywhere. I can't take somebody with Alzheimer's across the ocean. You'd be so surprised at how accommodating the travel industry is. I don't have to tell anybody. I don't have to put a sign around her neck or anything. They just look and they just are very caring to all their passengers, whether it's on the airplane or at the hotel, or we've been on cruises, and we've done it all, and everybody's been great. So I really, really, really encourage folks, early on, if there's someplace you wanted to go, you always thought about going, go ahead and do it, because once you start doing that, it becomes a habit for them. They'll be go, oh, okay, yeah, this is how I go through security. Okay, yes, you need some help, but you can get through security. You can get on the airplane. The flight attendant will help you, find your seat. And then if something should happen, they'll be right there. They are trained to handle all sorts of different circumstances. So
It's interesting.
Do you tell them ahead of time that
I have.
is-
So what we've done is there's some tour operators that do running tours for us. There's two major companies that we use, and all the folks that go with us, they know. But in terms of getting on the airplane or checking into a hotel, or getting on a cruise or whatever, no, because they treat they have everybody. They have 50-year-olds and 80-year-olds with walkers, so they understand that for them to want to come back, they need to be accommodating. So it's been great.
Understood.
It's
It's
absolutely.
interesting because like doctors, I remember when my mom was at that stage where if you didn't know her until you sat with her for maybe 15 minutes, you wouldn't know there was anything
Right.
wrong. because she, you know, she would just.
Right.
And I remember my stepfather being in the hospital. And my mom kept asking his doctor, "Where is he and what's going on?" He said, and he was like, "I just told you." And this is like the fifth time I'm telling you, and I had to pull him aside and say, "She has Alzheimer's," and he was so, you know, like brutal with her. And I thought, he's a doctor. Like, how does he not understand that? You know, and so that warms my heart that you say that, you know, and I have seen that in the world, because I used to try to protect my mom, and then I realized most people get it, and they're fine with it.
Yeah. There's another thing about long-term and short-term memory. So the short-term memory is basically the first one to go, and what we've done with our lifestyle is I'm trying to get things to go into the long-term memory. So you get up, you have breakfast, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth. That's going into short term. You're not going to remember which one you did in what order or what you had. But at the same time, you go outside and you go walk the botanical gardens in Florence. Well, that's going to long-term memory, and that's going to stay there. And the beginning phase is a lot longer. And, taking pictures.
Why does it do that, do you think? Why, when you're
that part of the brain is not affected at first.
No, but I understand that. But why walking, say, through the gardens in Florence? Why does that stick as opposed to
because they say it's new
different.
And it's exciting and it's something memorable that will go. Yeah, so you see a beautiful flower and beautiful arrangements of flowers and things like that. And that was one of the things we would be having conversations, and if it was something that was emotional, she would remember. If it was, hey, I took out the garbage, who cares? I don't, I'm not going to remember that part. So
it's interesting.
Go on, Don.
Yeah, you have obviously a very positive approach to this, but I assume you did not have any Alzheimer's or caregiving experience before this. Maybe you did.
I took care of my mother for the last 8 years of her life, from 80 to 88. When I say I took care of her, I took her finances. I got her into assisted living. I would go by and visit her on a regular basis. She would always tell me, "Oh, I got Alzheimer's." I said, "Okay, Mom, what's that on the wall?" She goes, "That's a clock." I said, "Okay, well, normally people with Alzheimer's say, well, the thing with the hands and it tells you what time it is. That's how you describe it." So I knew she didn't. Near the end, she did have some aspects of it, but I was around where she was. There was all sorts of different levels of people that worked there. I mean, that lived there that had, some type of dementia. So
you had some, but your outlook, very positive. What challenges did you have, when you had to come to terms with this is your partner who has this now? Mm-hmm. And were there times where it just wasn't easy to be super positive? And if so, how did you overcome those challenges?
37 years of flying airplanes all over the world. You don't give up. There's no alternative when you're a pilot on an airplane. You're going to get the airplane back on the ground safely. For your sake, for the passenger's sake, for everybody you're flying overhead. So it's ingrained in your brain, no matter what, you're going to get the airplane back on the ground safely. So for me, my goal is for her to be an individual that is eventually cured from this disease. So what I need to do is have her in a position so that when the cure comes out, they say, yes, we can handle somebody in her state of dementia. So I need to work at it so that we are in that position when it happens. I don't know if it's going to happen. That's my goal, for it to happen. And just like a pilot, my goal is to land safely. So I just work at it that way and just have a positive attitude towards it. That's how I've always had, towards life in general. You don't know. You walk across the street. You turn right at a stop sign and somebody comes running through. You have no control over those things, but the things you have control over is your attitude. And our attitude is we're going to enjoy life. We're going to enjoy life and do. The other part about writing this book was threefold. Yes, I wanted to inspire. Yes, I wanted to give people an alternative lifestyle to look at and to think about. But at the same time, I saw it as a journal for as when and if her memory did diminish, we could open it up and say, hey, remember when we were in Florence? Here's some pictures. And read to her the stories that are told in those pages. As a matter of fact, I was The book has 44 chapters, and I have about 44 different people that have read a chapter to us, recorded it, and sent it to us. So we sit there during breakfast and we'll listen to a chapter of when we were in Italy or wherever, and usually that individual was part of that that journey. Our start of this journey was not to be nomads as long as we are. We basically had some races on the schedule, so we sold our home. We packed things in a suitcase and said, oh, okay, let's go do this race, let's go do that race, and we'll find some place to live. And we'll get somewhere and we'll say, oh, this is a great place. So we settled in on Atlanta, Georgia, because Delta flew out of Atlanta. We could go anywhere in the world pretty much nonstop. So we went and we got a UPS box in Atlanta. We got a 5x5 storage unit in Atlanta. And we found a hotel that was near the airport that we really liked, which was a Marriott hotel. And we started staying there, and then we would go out on a trip, and we come back, and we go see. She has one daughter. I have 3 grown kids. We go visit them, and we go back out on another trip for 30 days and come back. And next thing you know, it's 6 years later, and we're still packing our bag every 3 to 4 days. Every 3 to 4 days, we are packing our bag and going someplace different.
If my mom wasn't, if she met you, she would be like, come here, I want to talk to you. Come here. I know you have something in your life, but just come over here. Come here. Because my father was a pilot too. And my mother passion was traveling, like travel, and my mom would be so spontaneous about it. It's like, we're going tomorrow, we're going on a cruise, we're going to here, we're going to Egypt, we're going to the travel. Loved it. She would be like, she would try to steal you from Catherine. I'm just saying, Catherine. Luckily, my mom is, she's but of course she still has more game than I do, even now.
That's good.
So, question for those there's you obviously you have the means to travel, and which is it's so wonderful and amazing, but somebody who, let's say, doesn't have the way of doing it, what type of words of wisdom or what kind of ideas would you have if, let's say, you weren't able to travel and you were, how do you make those new moments every time, or do you have any ideas as to those who can't do what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I try to express to others is that everybody has a passion. Everybody has a passion. Everybody has a bucket list. Everybody has things they've always wanted to do. Unfortunately, what happens is people get tied up in the mechanics of Alzheimer's. They go, oh, we got to go to see this doctor. Oh, we got to go research this. And they get bogged down by doing all those things and not living their life. And what I'm saying is, oh yeah, you're going to have to go see a doctor. You're going to get your diagnosis. They're going to give you probably 1 or 2 different medicines that are going to slow it down. There's nothing that's going to cure you right now. So you might as well go ahead and live. So you go back to, what's your passion? What do you love to do? I was telling Catherine just the other day is, let's just say, for example, somebody used to do ballroom dancing. Well, let's get on the road and go find within 60 miles of your house, what ballroom dancings are done, and compete in it, and also the important part is that you have to have a partner that is willing to go all in with you, and that's another important piece to it, is to have somebody that loves to do those things also and can share those moments with you. They say that botanical gardens are really good. Let's go find how many monuments there are over 5 feet tall in our area. Okay, make a list. Let's go, find all the monuments that are over 5 feet tall. Let's go look at them. Just take a picture of them. I have a whole album of what I call off the top of my head. It's like 290 pictures of me with something taller than me behind me.
And you're tall.
Right. And I'm 6'6", so there's not a whole lot of things to find, but we got selfies all over everywhere. Yeah, of doing that.
That's lovely. I have an answer to that too, Dawn and Tony, because if you can't travel and you don't have the means, and maybe you don't have a partner, maybe your partner passed away, whatever, there's these wonderful YouTube channels, and there's all kinds of, we have access because of our
Right.
technology now,
Yes, it
where
does.
you can, my mother loved to travel, like put on a great travel show,
Yes.
and just talk about it with them,
Right,
or even
right.
like, and they can experience it
Right.
there and then,
That's
and
correct.
make new synapses, right?
That's correct.
Botanical gardens. My mother was a singer, so
Uh-huh.
music has been a big tool for us.
Right,
It still is. It's the only
right.
thing that opens the door now.
Yeah.
But you can use those things for as long as possible and create as many new perceptions as you can.
So is she
on.
still at home? Your mother?
No, she isn't. No, she's she was walking when she lived with me for a year, which was what my movie was based on, after my stepfather died, and because she was having Groundhog's Day, basically,
right.
wanting to know where was he died, what.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but and people said I couldn't get her to actually get that memory to stick. Well, I did. It took me only 2 weeks to gently remind her every time
Right.
that we went to the funeral, that he
Right.
passed away. I would show
Right.
her the memorial sheet, and then finally in 2 weeks, she said, "Where's Georgie?" And I'd say, "Mom," and then she said, "He died."
I know.
Yep.
Yep.
And she got it. And and so it does take patience, but you can make those memories stick when they're important, right?
Yeah. So is she assisted living?
She is in assisted living. She's at
Well,
the,
have her do a performance there. Ask them.
she's
Ask
past
them.
that stage now.
Oh,
she's past,
really?
she was,
She's
she
quite
used to-
advanced, unfortunately.
Okay.
She used to do it. She
Okay.
literally at her assisted living, she would do it. She did, and she was.
Oh, yeah.
To her, it was like she was in a nightclub.
Yep. Yep.
She was singing to everybody.
Right.
I mean, we have video from my movie with Valerie Harper coming to visit her. And this is only 4 years ago, so my mom is much more advanced now. But the
Okay.
two of them were singing, Gershwin together, and
Right.
it was like, could it be more phenomenal? Like it was just, chill. It was chills all around. But I still sing to her, and she will sing back when I get her. I gotta, that's my goal, is to always get her to sing back.
We were in the stands. And we were in the grandstand of Churchill Downs. And so we're not up on Millionaires Row or anything. We didn't fly in on a jet or whatever. And I was telling Catherine, I said, I know people look at our lifestyle and say, we have means. I was a pilot for 37 years, so there is some means there. But there's a lot more people that got a lot more money than I do that were there. And so those folks can also look at this and say, I've got the means. Instead of me continuing to go to work and make more money for what reason, let's go ahead and enjoy life. Let's go ahead and do things. Let's go find what you wanted to do.
I love your philosophy.
Yeah.
I love his philosophy. Listen to this, you guys. It's such a good philosophy, because
yeah.
how much do you need?
Right.
How much do we need? We don't need that much. We really don't. We need yummy food. We need a warm place to sleep, and we
Right.
need people to love and love us and see good new things. Learn.
Yeah,
Learn.
Yeah, I have pieces of these type of thoughts in my book all throughout. I've talked to hundreds of people about retirement and about why they're still working. I love going to work. Oh, really? Do you love going to work more than you love being with your spouse? Does your work love you? Those type of things. There's a lot of reasons, and some people just, because I don't want to be at home. that's why I'm going to work. Not a very good one, but okay, I get it. The ones that say they want to, well, I'm saving for my grandkids. Well, I'm not saving for my grandkids. I'm sorry. If I leave them anything, I underestimated my ability to spend from my standpoint.
I love that. Amen.
Yeah,
I used to tell my mother, I go, Mom, don't say, this is your life.
Right.
I don't want your
Absolutely.
money.
Right.
I do not want your money. I want you to enjoy.
That's correct.
While you can enjoy
That's
whatever
correct.
you can enjoy, the best life. I always say quality over quantity.
Right.
It's more important.
Yeah.
What's the point of laying in a room with nothing?
Right.
Because you can afford it. You can
Yeah.
have, you can live in an assisted living and you're doing nothing.
Right.
It's, come on, people,
Yeah.
know,
That's not
Right?
living.
Yep.
it's not.
Yeah. So the book. When did you decide to write it? Why did you decide to write it? Were you beckoned by others to share your wisdom, or tell us a little bit about that?
It started with my open heart surgery. What happened was there was a gentleman by the name of Adam Pick. And what he did was he wanted people to share their journey through open heart surgery. So he had a blog or a website that you sign on to, and then you would journal, your experience from the beginning of when you were diagnosed through your hospital stay, and other people would journal also, so you would get to read what to expect through that whole process. So I journaled, and then after I finished that, we set out on, as I called it, running all over the world, and I started a blog. And the blog is still, I write to it right now, and it's at playhard- or a hyphen havefun.com. And I know it's kind of a complicated name, and why play hard, have fun. My kids, all three of my kids played soccer. My two boys all the way through college, and my simple statement to them as they would get on the soccer field or basketball court or my daughter, for a concert is play hard, have fun. Everything will take care of itself. Just enjoy. I don't care whether you win or lose, as long as you're playing hard and you're having fun, everything will be fine. So that became my lifestyle. Play hard, have fun as we retired. So I started writing to the blog, and this is where we are. This is what we're going to be doing. It had a couple of different reasons. One is I wanted to, at the beginning, I wasn't going to write a book, but I wanted to let my kids know where we are. And I was like, okay, this is where Dad was, a week ago, and, this is what he did. And then it could be something that they could use, later on down the road to just show their grandkids,
Right.
my grandkids, this is what Granddad did. And for her family.
Wow.
And then, as I said before, we take it and I read to her, where we were.
So your philosophy really is, it's all about the journey.
Yes.
It's not about the destination.
No.
It's
No,
all about the journey.
Yeah, I learned early on we have no idea what the destination is or how long, this journey is going to last. So you just go ahead.
Well, what a great metaphor for like running a marathon with an inhibited facility for memory, right? Often you lose your way when you're driving and
Right.
you don't know where you're going.
Right.
Does Catherine just ever say, "Where am I?" or "What am
Well,
I?"
that's a funny story. So what will happen is we'll be running. We run together. She's actually faster than I am. I told you about that earlier.
Yeah.
Is the fact that she's her
She's
fastest.
a woman. Hello.
Yeah, her fastest marathon time is 3:49, and my fastest is 3:57, and she always holds that over me. Well, I'm faster than you.
She
and you
remembers
can-
that,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, she remembers that. But what'll
And
happen
her.
is we're out there running, and a woman will go by her, and she'll get into the competitive mode, and then she'll try to keep up with the woman. I'm like, hold up, wait a second, I'm back here, and I have to, catch up and say, come on, dear, you need to slow down because I can't run that pace. And she'll go, oh, that's right, I'm sorry, I forgot that you were with me, for that period of time. And then, of course, on the course, I've got to make sure that she makes the left turns at the proper
Exactly.
places and things of that nature. But yeah, we're having a
Great
good
team.
time. Yeah. Great
Yeah,
team.
a great
Team effort.
team.
That's how I
Yeah.
look at it. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Wow, you should do a TED Talk.
I don't
You
know if I'm ready
should.
for that. I don't know if I'm ready
I
for
think
that.
you
but
should. You're
I
a
will be
natural
ready.
because
Yeah.
you really are, Tony. I'll tell you because I've been in this community, unfortunately and fortunately, for 15 years with my mom, and I've been holding her hand as best I can the whole way, and I've
Mm-hmm. Right.
learned so much. And it's like
Right.
it's you cannot do this alone.
Right.
Nobody can do this journey alone. And so and what I was actually telling my daughters this last night, like some one daughter's going through some big life crisis, and I said, what else do we have but that that is life. Life is crises, right?
Right.
And it's good and it's bad, and what, like you said, I my daughter graduated from college yesterday, And I wrote her a long letter, and I said, what I know for sure is we don't know anything, right? And so we can only know what we know now.
Right.
That's what we have is now. And so, and what else is life but resilience and getting through the next issue. And so it really, it's not like, this whole feeling of being left out and you're feeling this, feeling of, what am I missing out on? You're not missing out. No one's missing out on anything, because this pretty much is life,
Right.
and we for little pockets of time, things might be really smooth for a second, but we all know the other shoe's going to drop. How are we going to deal with it? We're going to pick
Right.
it up and stick it in our pocket. That's what we're going to do,
yeah,
right?
And
So I
marathoning,
think-
marathoning is a lot like that. You don't know. You train, you get ready, you show up, and then you go, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Your stomach is not, not cooperating. Well, how am I going to work through that? I'm going to be out here for 4 hours. Okay. And you have to figure out a way, to get through
It's
it.
one step after another. It's like
Exactly.
it's just literally taking the
Yes.
next step,
Next
and
step.
then
It's
the
such a
next
good
one, and the next
metaphor.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
also the metaphor of not knowing where you're going. Even if you're,
Right.
if Catherine, maybe she forgets she has to go left here instead of right,
Right.
whatever. But it doesn't matter, because it's the experience of right now.
Right,
Of
right,
that
right,
each
right.
step, right?
Yep. Yeah, I tell people, you see people near the end of the race and they're breaking down, and I just tell them, say, keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Don't
Yeah.
stop, just keep moving forward. And that's what you got to do. And with Alzheimer's also, you just got to keep moving forward. Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah. Will you please do a TED Talk? You are an inspiration.
Well,
You're also
I'm
just
getting
a-
my toe in the water doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
And then, when the book comes out, I'll start doing a little bit more talking. Maybe I'll do
When
some
is it coming out?
speeches.
When is your book?
Well, that's a good question. I will. So we just finished the cover, and this is revision number 6 on the cover. Just
That's
tweaking it
nothing.
here and there, and so we got the cover done, and then I'll get a copy of the book, and then I got to check and make sure the pages are not upside down, and so I was shooting for my birthday's July 6th. So now the new goal is for it to be a birthday present to myself. I'll be 66
Of course you're a
years old.
Cancer.
Yeah,
Of course you're a
yeah,
Cancer, aren't you?
so-
You're a Cancer.
Yep.
Of course you are. Of course
So
you
we'll-
are. You're
so-
loyal.
so-
You loyal thing, you.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God,
Yep,
yes.
you
Yep,
family
yeah.
man, loyal.
Oh, man,
you
yeah.
are a catch.
Yep, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You are. You're a good
Kathy's,
person.
Catherine's a lucky girl. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
and
the
you're
right
probably a
person
lucky
for her.
guy.
Oh
You're
yeah.
probably a lucky
Oh my
guy,
goodness.
Too.
Oh my goodness.
What sign is she?
Oh, I do not know signs. Well, her birthday was yesterday, so you figured that one out. Her birthday was
Oh,
yesterday.
okay. So she's a Taurus. My daughter's a
Okay.
Taurus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
They're good people too.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
wonderful.
She is
they-
so
they-
determined. It is just absolutely amazing. You
Hello,
were talking
she's a
about
Taurus.
Don. You were talking about how she handled the diagnosis, and I've read it all, and the different stages and what you go through, and how you go back and forth and bounce around, and she's just she gets up, she gets frustrated, she cries, and then she says, I'm not going to give up. I'm just not going to give up. And she's, we put our running shoes on and we go. She'll even ask me, you going to go running with us? I'm like, us? It's just me and you, dear. Can I go along with you? Yeah, so we have a good
Oh, I
time.
love it. I love it. You have a
Well,
beautiful
yeah.
story. You're a beautiful
Yeah.
human being, and I feel blessed to have, got to meet you
Okay.
and hear your story. You're one of our
Absolutely.
peeps. You're one
Oh,
of our
good.
tribe. Yeah, I
Okay,
love it.
good deal.
I love it. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you'd like to bring up? And and we'll definitely let people know when your book is out.
I really enjoy talking about our journey. Like I said before, I like to inspire others. I think that this is an alternative lifestyle choice. It's not for everybody. As we talked about, different people, different strokes for different folks, but, find something that you as a couple love to do, and don't think of Alzheimer's as a death sentence. It's a life lesson, and just get out there and learn from it on a daily basis, what you're able to do, what you're not able to do, and to compensate for it, And I used to have a learning disability, or still do. From that standpoint, I was not actually diagnosed with dyslexia, but I knew that I had problems learning as a child. I found my passion as a pilot. One of the great things about being a pilot is you go to flight school and you learn what the mechanics of it all in the morning, and then you get in the airplane and you apply it. So it was very good for my brain to go at it that way. And so I compensated. And so what I'm doing is on a daily basis, I compensate for what Catherine can do. What can she do today? I try to let her do it. And if she needs my assistance, I do. I help her. And if she doesn't, I don't. And tomorrow might be different. And as long as she tells me she loves me and shows me her affection and thanks me, and appreciates everything I do for her, I'm a happy man. I really am. And
God bless you.
We're looking forward to Europe opening back up so we can get back on the road to running all over the world as opposed to the United States of America.
That's beautiful. Have you run in Rome yet? Have you gone to Rome?
Oh yes, we've done the Rome Marathon. I didn't like it because because there's two things about it. It was a lot of cobblestones. It's really hard. It hurts. Really hard on the ankles. And then everybody was trying to get from one cathedral to the next, and they weren't really very patient for all these runners going through. So we had to dodge folks going back and forth across the streets.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've run
at least Scotland. Have you?
No, we haven't run Scotland. There is one. As a matter of fact, the group that we run with is based out of Chelsea, Massachusetts, Marathon Tours and Travel. They have a trip that we're planning on going to in Germany, and in September. And hopefully, we'll have the book out and we'll be able to talk to the folks, because I do a lot of talking about running trips with them. We've done over 25 different trips with them, but they have a trip that's going to Scotland. We might look. It's called the Lochs Nicks.
I want to go with you guys. I'm going to do a marathon. I have one silly question.
Yes.
Did you ever do the cold showers and things like that to get
Oh yeah. I've done it all. We've done. I did a 50 miler when I was 50 years old, and I've done.
Does it help?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah. What you do is you just turn it to cold and just aim it on your legs. Just aim it on your legs and get your thighs and your calves and both front and back, and it does help. Now people.
I want to tell you as the writer.
Yeah.
I actually, because when I researched
writing
about marathons, I actually got in the shower for a week straight and did it so that I could write it and know what it felt like. And I really wanted, and I hated it so much. I was like, son of a bee.
Yeah, but you probably did your whole body though. You probably only need to do is your legs, dear.
Oh yeah.
See, that was a rookie mistake.
Oh, that is a rookie mistake.
Yeah. You should have had me as your research guy. I would have helped you on that one.
Well, there's one. Well, I'm going to be directing this film. I may
Yeah, absolutely.
I may partake upon that.
Yes.
I may ask you some questions.
Give me a jingle.
Technical advisor.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
we do.
thank you.
Thank you
I really
again.
appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Listen to this man. He's an inspiration. Don Priest, thank you. And if you could love this show, if you like all our people that, not us, you don't have to love us, but you can, it'd be nice. But if you like all the people that we get to, share with you, subscribe and, like us, like the show. And Don, what do we always say?
Well, as we always say, and I think it's very appropriate here, and that is love is powerful, love is contagious, and love conquers all. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.